All who thirst for freedom may come with us.
X gon' give it to ya. We gon' give it to ya. X gon' give it to ya. We gon' give it to ya. First we gonna stop, then we gonna go, then we let it pop, now let it go. X gon' give it to ya. We gon' give it to ya. X gon' give it to ya.
Oh shit, welcome to Exodus Americanus, episode 28. I'm Stone. With me as always is White Power Ranger Roscoe Jones and Donald Bateman, and we have a special guest today, Wooderson from the Houston Goilers. How you guys doing?
So good.
Doing excellent. Happy to be here.
Doing good, guys.
Good deal. So you've had the quite the couple weeks there, Wooderson. You've been on every show, haven't you?
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy. I didn't expect this to happen, actually.
Fucking party time, man.
It is. We're glad to have you.
Yeah, I mean, you went on some little shows like The Daily Show and Red Ice, but now,
You're in the big
you're
time.
on the premiere show, the number one show not on TRS.
Definitely.
What was it you called us, Bateman? The Velvet Underground of alt-right podcasts?
Yeah, we influence everyone else, but we're not famous.
Well, I heard heard Jim on the Fatherland talking about the chemicals making the frogs gay. It's like, well, I wonder where he heard that on repeat lately.
Don't like to put chemicals in the water to turn the freaking frogs gay.
Yeah, they could play that every episode. Honestly.
It's so good.
We're just really passionate about frog heterosexuality. That's our pet issue after the ethno state.
Only heterosexual Pepe memes.
Yeah, exactly. We can't have gay Pepes running around.
Gay Pepe should be gassed.
Yeah, for sure.
But you never see the fags with the Pepe avatars. It's always the anime kids.
Mm-hmm.
What the You know, the more that I learn about the people with the anime avatars, I don't know, man. It's fucking weird.
Yeah, there's a lot of really weird, degenerate stuff that goes on with that.
See, they finally know because I added them to one of the anime Nazi chats I'm in, and they're seeing in the eye of the storm now.
Yeah, we need to add Wooderson to that just so he can experience the spur.
You don't know, man.
Misery loves company.
You'll have to turn off the alerts on that chat though, or else your phone will blow up all night.
Yeah, now I'm in so many chats now that all my phone does is just constantly vibrate. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, you got to turn off Twitter notifications. I was in a meeting once, and it was just blowing up constantly, and I was like, I cannot explain this away. There's no way I can explain this well.
Yeah.
Just say you're in a group text and you can't get out of it.
Oh, I'm just plotting the overthrow of the Jewish hegemony with my anime Nazi buddies. It's no big deal.
Yeah, just talking about some of the specifics for the good old Rachel Holy Ward.
I know. I'm always I'm showing someone a picture, and I just know that something from some of my red-pilled buddies that are from growing up that I speak over text with, that some crazy shit's gonna come up on the screen when I'm showing
don't swipe
someone a picture.
left, or you'll see someone in an oven.
Right, exactly. One of my favorite things lately is this Pepe I found where he's got the White Power T-shirt and the AK and a bunch of nooses hanging behind him.
And all the tattoos.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't go wrong.
I need to get a burner phone just for my Twitter activities.
Yeah, for sure. I have a company phone, right? And and I always listen to Radio Aryan and stuff like that. And I think about how I'm this IT guy whose middle he has Hussein somewhere in his name, so it gives you an idea of who this guy is.
What is this Radio Aryan I'm seeing?
Exactly.
Well, it's I'll go on TRS on my work laptop, and then I'll just be thinking this could backfire.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I've done that before too. Thankfully, my company is a whole bunch of white dudes. I honestly, I don't think they would even really give a shit if they.
See, I'm in construction, so every single member of management is white. It's 98% male, and we're working with Japanese engineers.
Yeah,
and they sided with the Nazis, so I think I'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly. I'm in construction, and that's general field as well. So it's a few white presenting Mexican dudes, and then the rest just white guys.
Well, then the laborers are all mestizos.
Well, obviously,
4 feet tall welders.
Our clients, a lot of our clients are actually mestizos that have done very, very well for themselves here in America.
Yeah, that's the thing about Texas. A lot of people don't get. I have some Hispanic friends in college that you could not tell unless you're like looking at them directly, because they've
Unless you look at their
completely
grubby little
assimilated-
beaner fingers.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are driving, big trucks, listening to country music, voting Republican, and it's just like, like it's odd.
Yep, for sure.
I went through a phase where I was what I called a white presenting nationalist, where those dudes were good enough, like those
Oh, like sort
Mexican.
Yeah,
Like
I
anybody
think-
who was willing to put on a fucking polo and go to work every day was all right in my book.
Right, exactly. Gavin McInnes calls it like Western chauvinism kind of thing.
Well,
Yeah.
but the downside about that is, as soon as they have fucking kids, their
Yeah, the
kids,
kids are gonna
regress
suck.
to the main, and
Yeah,
the kids
dude.
fucking suck.
Yeah, it's
It's
not.
like-
It doesn't go far enough. I think that sort of ideology it's too much of a half measure.
Yep. No more half measures. That's what Heisenberg said.
Yep, for sure, dude.
So you said you had a trip to Florida you wanted to talk about?
Yes, dude. Okay, so I've been going down to this place every summer since I was a little kid, and I took a break there for a while, just living in different parts of the country. But I go with my family, and since I've been living back in Texas, I've gone down there, and I was on my way to being red pilled last year, but it really hit me like right when I came back, because it was the migrant crisis in August of last year. So, and that's what really finally did it for me. Like, it was the final straw.
Mhm.
But just being down there, it's like it's almost 100% white. I mean, I think I saw maybe like 2 brown families. That's fucking it, dude.
That's
In this,
beautiful.
yeah, in this entire resort town. And I mean, it's it's kind of an expensive place, so it's a little cost prohibitive. But because like all the dads like make a lot of money, it's just a lot of families. Because the dads make a lot of money, all the wives or about 80% of them are actually hot, like MILFs, and so it's just a sea of like attractive white children just like all around. It was the most like energizing thing to see, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
it
that's
was-
what we could have, and that's what we should still have.
exactly. And it's the South, so it's like there's still, you see families like white families, they'll have like 3-4 kids. It's like, I mean, it's normal to see that. So
See, that is a white pill, that more conservative families are the ones that actually have more kids,
Right.
while the cat ladies are not reproducing.
exactly.
And also,
Yeah,
there's more
thank
white
God.
people now than at any time in history.
Yeah.
Numerically. We're
Yes.
a lower ratio, but more raw numbers.
Yeah, so I've actually said that to some other white nationalist buddies, and they're like, what? Like, kind of don't believe me. And I'm like, no, there really are. It's just
Yeah.
globally where our percentage is declining. So,
And again, it's like Richard Spencer said this on the last Radix one, his David Duke interview, which I'd recommend listening to.
yeah,
But he
so-
said,
know
like,
that
it's
one.
always been committed minorities that make change happen. I mean,
Yep.
every revolution is 2% of the population, 1%.
Mm-hmm.
The Bolsheviks in Russia, there are about 10,000 of them in a country of tens of millions.
yeah, can you believe how he never said the word Jew one time in that entire like hour-long interview? I was freaking shocked. I couldn't believe
It's impressive. I mean, he's running for Senate, so
that. Yeah.
got to clean it up, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, because, man, I was listening to him, like, at the beginning of the year sometime, and holy
Yeah.
shit, I can't even really listen to that show because it's just the same, like, 5 talking points over and over and over again.
Which one, Radix or David?
No, Duke's show.
Oh, yeah, I don't listen to Duke Show, but I love Radix because
Oh,
it
yeah,
kind of
Radix
goes
is
into...
great.
So Radix was the first one I found when I found out the alt-right. I was reading like some mainstream media article about, the white nationalists gaining traction off Trump's campaign. And I talked about Spencer and Jared Taylor.
Nice.
So I got into Radix. I listened to like every Radix podcast in like a week because they were so good.
Yeah.
And that's how I found like Fashion the Nation, The Daily Show, all that. But if I would have started off in The Daily Show, I would have been like, okay, this is a little much.
Yeah, I found the sort of the alt-right podcast sphere, or whatever you could call it, just by listening to Christopher Cantwell, who I don't really listen to him anymore, and I guess it's good for whatever it is, but
I don't consume normie media anymore, but
Yeah, neither do I.
every now and then I'll throw Cantwell on.
mhm.
And you have never seen a man shit the bed like fucking
Oh,
Cantwell did
dude.
this last week.
Yes. Oh my god. Okay, we need
Jesus
to talk about
fucking Christ, man.
Oh
I
my God.
missed it. I'm in the dark on this.
that. Okay.
So fucking Cantwell meets this chick that's a fan of his show. There's strike one, like right off the fucking bat.
A political
Yeah.
woman. Leave
Right.
immediately.
Exactly.
Look, so she comes down, and like apparently,
Okay, no. Explain this. So she was a lottery winner in Canada, and he's in New Hampshire, which is all right on the border of Canada. So she decides to come down and visit him.
so this independently wealthy chick comes down and tells Chris, "Put a baby in me."
And he fucking does.
Oh, he did it?
And guess what she does? Guess what she does?
What?
She goes fucking crazy.
Okay, yeah. Let's someone predict like what her next move was. If you don't know about this,
I don't know. That's just a strange situation.
Yeah.
she goes insane and goes back to Canada.
With the baby still in her?
Well, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So maybe her whole plan was just to get a free baby. Because she's wealthy now. She doesn't need a man.
No, dude. No. I don't think this bitch is not making plans.
No.
Yeah, and I think I listened to the beginning. I listened to basically the beginning of each show because a fellow Goyler had told me about this situation. So I went and listened to it just to hear him talk about this explicit. Like that's it. And the beginning of both of his shows, he talked about it. In the second one, he was like, "Yeah, now I've got her coming back to stay, or I don't know. He's coming back to deal with this." I'm like, dude, you're literally gonna just try to like, what are you gonna chain this bitch up? Like, I mean, dude.
I didn't think podcast groupies existed.
Oh yeah, they do. I there's a normie show I listen to. I won't even bring it up because it could possibly dox me because of my involvement with it. But
Yeah.
this guy is marrying a like really hot chick that was a listener of his.
No, dude.
Yep.
Yeah, that's... I
And
don't
she's
know.
also Canadian, which is kind of strange.
Yeah.
No, I gotta say no to Canadians.
No Canadian podcast listeners. Stay away.
You look at Trudeau, like, fuck off and die.
Gosh, exactly.
Because they
Dude,
don't even have an
Trudeau-
excuse. I mean, Canada's white. Like, we don't have to
Yeah.
take responsibility for Obama's election because we didn't vote for him.
Trudeau seems like the type of candidate that like we would come up with, like that if an alt-right civilization like in the distant future was setting up some sort of simulation on a computer and come up with the most like
The most
paused, goofy fucking guy.
No, dude. He's the fucking South Park character.
Yeah. Yeah, he is. I mean, dude, him dancing around in that Muslim garb and shit.
Hey,
He's
if
got-
you kill your enemies, they
Oh
win.
my God, he has the pink shirt over his fucking suit and tie. Like, dude, what is going on?
He was like a substitute English teacher or a drama
Yeah.
teacher.
Yeah,
Just because his
And-
dad
and
was
it's-
prime minister.
a snowboard instructor.
Yeah, he's...
I don't think I've ever seen a politician that I've wanted to drag behind a pickup truck more.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm from that general area. That was Jasper, Texas, where that shit went down. I'm from that region, which might explain some of my like natural red pilling.
Yeah.
When we take our break, I'll tell you about the street that I grew up on.
Okay, sweet.
When I tell you the name of the street that I grew up on, you're gonna lose your fucking mind.
Kill niggers. Kill nigger
Close,
Avenue.
close, very fucking close. So are we gonna do any of the fucking topics or?
I don't know. It's overrated, I think.
Yeah, I have sort of a degenerate story that thought I might tell you guys. So I have a high school buddy of mine, and shouts out to this guy. I still love you, even though you're half Jewish on your father's side. But anyways, he's been dating this like really well. First of all, this fucking guy. I don't know how much I should even say because I don't want to like dox it too hard. But let's just say he's been involved in like. He was involved in selling drugs in high school, and now he like works for an alcohol company. Like, how fucking typical is that? But, anyways,
Like Peter Griffin.
right? And dude, he's been dating this extremely hot Latin Mexican chick, and I'm talking about like real light skin type, really hot chick.
Spaniard.
Yeah, exactly. And
Don't worry, she's got enough Aztec in there.
Oh, no.
There's a
yeah,
there's
oh,
a
that's-
timeline on her
listen, I'm
attractiveness.
Exactly. I'm getting to that too. So I mean, anyhow, I think her parents came over here illegally. She was illegal, right? Somehow they ended up getting citizenship, right? Well,
Fucking Reagan.
Somehow.
yeah, right. And yeah, so he figured out that she was lying to him about some shit. And mind you, they lived together. He figured out she was lying to him about something, and he like started grilling her on it. Turns out her mom, who's a fucking piece of shit, like sociopath, has stolen money from her in the past, committed all kinds of fraud, all this kind of shit. Her mom had bought a fucking kilo of coke and had said that I am not going to let you see your sister if you don't help me sell this fucking kilo of coke. And it's like, dude, come on. And so she fucking did it. And she got robbed in the process. And so, of course, my buddy gave her, and what I said to him was like, yeah, so these are the type of people we need to keep the fuck out with the wall, dude. Don't you get that? You know, because he's been kind of counter signaling me on Trump a little bit, of course. But anyways, yeah, so
That's
that
like Jeb
happened.
Bush's wife.
Yeah, so he gave her an ultimatum, and she packed her shit, and fucking left.
Well, self-deportation's working.
Right,
again.
exactly. But yeah, I mean, considering, yeah, I hope he never hears that story. I don't think he would mind me telling it, but yeah, I just thought that was so fucking ridiculous.
I kind of want to take a minute right now to talk about the importance of having some fucking standards, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you need to make sure their parents are stable, productive
Yeah.
members of society, and that's a must.
Believe
Look,
me, this
if the
dude
bitch doesn't have good bone structure in her hands, she's crossed off my fucking list.
Okay, if you wouldn't, like, bang her mom, then you probably don't want to marry her.
Yeah,
Because eventually she'll be similar to her mom.
right.
And I
Yeah.
can live with that.
Yeah, this guy doesn't actually know to the extent of like shit that I'm involved with, like in the movement and everything. He doesn't really know like yeah, he's just one of my like high school buddies growing up that I still am in touch with, that I've yet to like I've purged a lot of normies out of my life, but
They purge themselves.
they do really.
Yeah.
What's kind of amazing though, like I recently caught up with a dude I went to high school with, hadn't talked to him in over a fucking decade. And the dude is down with the Rahowa. He's listening to the show and shit.
Holy shit, that's fucking awesome.
Oh yeah, I'm like, bro, I've got the Underground Right Up podcast for you to listen to.
Hey, shouts out to that dude listening somewhere like in the fucking gym right now.
See, that's what you need to do. Appeal to the hipster types and be like, oh, you still listen to Fash the Nation? Fucking mainstream.
Right, exactly.
And
Dude,
then we
this is
become the
art-
mainstream and be like, ha.
Yeah, this is artisanal over here, dude.
Artisanal, handcrafted
It's a
hatred.
free-range organic podcast. We don't use any show notes or GMOs.
Yeah. Yeah.
That should be the
notes,
title of this
artwork.
episode. No show notes or GMOs.
Yeah, it's funny, man. I have some like I go on the Facebook just to like fuck with people, my normie Facebook, and I've actually found a couple buddies that are full on like fucking red pill, which is really cool. Like guys growing up with, you know, I'm farther along than they are, but
You can leave the breadcrumbs for him.
But the people, like some of these like liberal types, they're so fucking worried about like GMOs and shit. Like I get it that, okay, I haven't done all my research about it, but like when you have Mohammedans like fucking blowing shit up and like you're about to lose your country, are you really worried about like some process that helps us grow more fucking food? I mean,
Yeah.
maybe there's some side effects since there's some bad shit with it, but like,
So
come
I have
on,
a
dude.
take. So I have a take where I think it was bad because it led to overpopulation, but
yeah.
it's safe to eat. I mean, it's fine to eat.
Right. I mean, maybe there's some long-term effects, but there's
We got bigger fucking problems.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We can argue about GMOs when we're in the ethno state.
There we go.
Yeah, like we'll put that on the docket right after like whether or not it's going to be a
We're gonna
fucking
table that
theological
for
society.
a couple decades.
Yeah, I mean, I think this guy that I'm thinking of, his biggest fucking issues are like, dude, weed and GMOs. It's like, can there be either like two more irrelevant
The thing that
issues?
annoys me about dude weed is that it's so fucking easy to get weed and not get caught. Like, I smoked a lot of weed in college, and never once was I worried about cops or.
That's
I mean,
because
it's
you
such
weren't
a-
rolling down the street with your rap music blaring with the windows down,
Exactly.
Yeah.
smoking the biggest blunt in the world.
I thought
The
Mr.
amount of
Stone
blunts
just
I
fucking
smoked in
bailed on
public,
us for a
come on.
minute.
Yeah, dude.
I think the people that are really concerned about it are the ones that like are completely autistic and don't know anyone to get weed from.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's some sort of, it's this rebellion that is allowed to happen.
Yeah,
You know?
like kosher rebels.
Exactly.
I think that sort of goes back to talking about the our society has become so streamlined that even our rebellion is planned out for us.
Right.
Oh yeah,
And that's
Well,
one of those things that you can be rebellious about and people won't delete you on Facebook.
So along those lines, it's something I read about, basically saying why America won the Cold War. It's because capitalism allows rebellion against itself, and it commercializes even the rebellion. I mean, look at a Che Guevara T-shirt you can buy.
Right.
But communism, it didn't allow that feedback loop to basically let steam off. It's like a pressure valve.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what's funny is anybody that listened to this podcast is probably going to be familiar with Bateman taking a big old shit on certain capitalist points earlier today.
Yeah.
I'm interested.
Well, I mean,
I'm
What
interested
I like
to
to
hear
always
about
say
this.
is, I post that picture of every like top corporation with the rainbow colors after the gay marriage thing. Like,
Oh my
they're
God,
contributing to degeneracy actively, and open borders, and pretty much like you don't get fired by the government for saying something offensive. You get fired by a private corporation.
Yeah, shouts out to Goy Orbison on Twitter. But yeah, he was talking about something in the chat today, just about how Walmart fucking has sent $1.5 million to fucking La Raza.
Yeah, and destroyed small businesses owned by white people across the nation.
Right.
I mean, they're a cancer.
Yeah, for sure.
There
And-
will be no Walmarts after the racial holy war.
Yeah.
God, they benefit so massively on this open borders immigration shit.
Yeah,
'Cause it's
and
just-
the trade deficit because they
Yep.
buy all their stuff from China. I mean, Walmart is a cancer on America.
They buy
Yeah,
it from
dude.
where?
China. That's where
Where?
most of their stuff comes from.
China.
China.
Okay, all right. I'm with you now. China.
China.
Yeah. I love that meme. It's just Donald Trump saying China.
For
and
like
then some
3
chick,
minutes.
no, some chick like showing her tits.
So, are you guys ready for some quality fucking Don posting?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. So this is from the Huffington Post. And do you guys follow the Huffington shit post on Twitter?
Yes.
Because there we go. If you
I'm
listen-
honored enough to have him follow me.
Ooh, same.
I don't think I can boast that. So here we go, guys. Some Donald Trump supporters are now calling him God Emperor. And this was published on the July 29th of 2016. So you motherfuckers are about a year late.
Right.
Yeah.
And don't you know that like the normie that's not like one of these SJW types that really like gives a shit about all this like racism and BLM and all that they just fucking hear that and they're like, bah, that's funny.
Yeah.
Just move on, you know?
haha.
Well, the best part about it is this article is one of the best examples of histrionic Jewish neuroses that I've ever fucking seen.
What's
Because-
the writer's name?
Here we go.
Nico Pitney.
Oh, Nico.
One of those Russian Jews.
El Echo.
So like
he-
all the
he-
fucking tweets that he shares, there's nothing in there that like that smacks of any type of ethnocentrism or identitarianism. Like half of it are fucking Bernie bros that are pissed out about Cuck Sanders shilling in for Hillary.
Mhm.
God, and I know we were gonna talk about the DNC a little bit, but geez, did he look fucking pissed
Oh, he
sitting
was
there
so
during her
mad.
speech? Yeah.
People kept shouting him out, and they'd go to his face, and it was just pure Talmudic rage.
Talmudic rage intensifies.
Fucking Goy beat me out for the nomination.
Sorry, continue though. But
Oh fuck. Shit, but we'll make sure that we put this link in here. But you go through this, and this dude's just freaking out about all these people that think it's funny to post Donald Trump and 40K regalia. Like, apparently, this just hits some nerve in this guy. I don't know what it is. But you get down to the end, and let me hit you with this fucking editor's note.
Yeah, it's on
Editor's
every
note.
it's on every Huffington Post article that mentions Trump.
It's italicized all the fuck. Donald Trump regularly incites political violence and is a serial liar, rampant xenophobe, racist, misogynist, and birther who has repeatedly pledged to ban all Muslims. 1.6 billion members of an entire religion
How many?
from
not enough.
entering the United States.
because we need 1.6 billion Muslims in America immediately.
Make it
thinking
so
about,
much
like,
better.
It might be good to just troll people and say, like, why haven't we let all 1.6 billion Muslims in yet, you bigot? And just take it completely. Like, why haven't you given up your home to illegal immigrants, you fucking fascist?
I think my favorite line in this article, though, is yet the bizarre and sometimes vulgar terms common to the forum, and I guess it's the Reddit forum, their enemies are cucks, an abbreviation of the racially charged term cuckold.
Well, it's like you guys are worried about the Donald. Like, you have no fucking idea
No.
what's happening.
That's so kosher compared to Twitter.
I know, dude. Think about like NPC and the fucking TRS forums.
Oh, yeah.
And everything. Oh my god.
Think about this fucking podcast.
Right.
We get a
Yeah.
few drinks in us, start denying the Holocaust. Anything
I mean,
can happen.
we've been saying kike a little bit less on the show lately. I think we're softening a little bit.
Well,
We did-
honestly, bro, like when you start getting into this stuff, it's like at first when you get into it, it's like, oh yeah, saying kike and nigger's fun, and then now it's just like, I've said it so many times, it's
Yeah.
almost started to lose its own.
now more of
Just-
like an esoteric intellectual fascist. Has such childish words like kike.
See, this is what I was just bringing up there is kind of going along with y'all's new hipster aesthetic that you're looking for. So,
Well, I actually red pilled the fuck out of a bunch of hipsters a couple of weeks ago.
a bunch of them, or do you have like a Nuremberg type
cabal?
situation?
They took me out to fucking drink with them, and that was their
So
first
you're at the beer
mistake.
hall.
Yeah, it was a beer hall push.
Did you get on
And,
the table and start yelling?
More or less, yeah. I'm looking like we're sitting outside at a fucking picnic table, and I'm sitting on the very end in a pull-up chair because I was the last person to show up.
The head of the table.
Yeah, and everybody is looking at me while I'm leaned over my drink, speaking in low, practiced tones. and somebody introduces me, and he's like, "Yeah, this is our resident conservative."
You're like,
And I'm
oh,
like-
you have no idea.
And I'm like, considering that I get an erection from imagining stomping Paul Ryan to death, I think that makes me a terrible conservative. So the next thing they call me out on is I have this whole thing that I'm working on called The Visible Hand of Hipster Economics. Because I've gotten to watch this area that a decade ago I wouldn't have walked through in the fucking daylight turn into this glorious little fucking area filled with stay-at-home moms going to privately owned boutiques.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh my
Well,
god!
Richard
it's so
Spencer
good.
said, like, hipsters are the shock troops of white nationalism. Because they go into the cities and just clear out all the undesirables.
So we're drinking in this hipster bar in a place where this has actually fucking happened, where the hipsters have ran out all of the ethnic minorities, and somebody's like Power Ranger. I almost said my real fucking name there. That's close. They said, "White Power Ranger, tell them about your hipster economic theory." And I said, "Well, I'll tell you this. You guys, look around. You achieved what the white nationalists never could have achieved in their wildest fucking dreams. You guys ran out all the ethnic minorities from the low-income housing areas."
So I think we need to stop doing hate hikes in black and start wearing flannel.
Yes, actually, yeah, I'm gonna open a coffee shop.
Dude,
Just like start adding organic coffee shops to every corner, and then Texas will be white again.
and the applause at the table came from the token minority.
Well, because they're the ones that aren't afraid to laugh, you know?
Exactly.
Well, that's the thing about like those. There's like probably 5% of minorities that really hate their own race, and they realize that whites are better, and so they just try to gravitate to those areas.
Yep.
And the worst part about it is, like, we want to accept him because our European heritage just has that fucking
Our eternal Anglo compassion.
yeah, that we want to hold. Anybody who is capable, deserves of being rewarded with what they're capable of achieving.
Yeah.
And we don't want to hold these people back because that fucking stings at our sense of fairness. But how fair is it to take these leaders out of the communities where they could do the most good?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
That's the big reason why, like, all these countries that have all immigrants here, they're doing so bad. It's because they lose their most intelligent people to us.
Yeah, the talented 10th.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out.
Brain
Yeah,
drain.
it takes a whole lot of, desire to get to the United States, like from India or whatever, some of these really fucked up countries where the like, to do it legally, I'm saying.
You have to have a lot of money.
You have to have a lot of money. You also have to just be, like, tenacious as hell and, like, getting after the, whatever, like, bribed off official that doesn't give a fuck, at the office or.
You gotta have some will to power.
Yeah, brah. Yeah, well, so which minority was this token?
A frizzy-haired mulatto girl that just loves the shit out of me.
That's great. Yeah, dude.
I mean-
So you said you red pilled him? I mean, was it just that experience, or did you really get into, like, the bell curve and shit?
Oh, I have gotten into IQ distribution of the bell curve with all of these people. And, they know exactly where I fucking stand on pretty much everything.
Yeah, dude, I've done that at bars a couple times when I've just been by myself. I mean, because obviously we do Goiler stuff, but, like, when I'm just with, some, like, normie chick or whatever, and I just can't help it. Like, what the? There's nothing interesting to talk about with people that you don't know, like, because you don't have any friends in common. You don't necessarily consume, like, the same media or the same news stories or anything. So really, you can only really talk about ideas and actually, like, everyone have something to say, So I always just, like, start peppering in these little red pills, and sometimes it gets pretty fucking heated, but I don't know.
And here's
it's great.
one thing for you single guys. That is goddamn catnip for vaginas.
Yep. I've
Like,
taken a chick home like that before.
even if they don't agree with you, seeing that
They
you
like
have the
strength.
passion and the strength to just not roll over like a fucking cock.
Yeah, exactly.
That's one
Yeah.
thing. Like, when I'm hooking with college girls, I like to make them do the things I like to do. Because they, if you ever ask a girl, where do you want to go? They don't want to fucking choose. They want you to choose and you to
Right.
lead it. So I'll take girls to the bookstore. They probably don't even fucking read, but they're like, "Ooh, yeah, this is so artsy," and I don't care about all that shit. Like, I actually want to go to the fucking bookstore.
Right.
It's like a win-win right there because they're impressed that you actually care about things
Yep.
and don't back down to them, and you get to do the stuff you want.
Yep, for sure. That's great advice.
Has Trump taught you people nothing? Never apologize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never back down, never apologize. Really true. It's like with normies nowadays, they're so weak-willed. If you just kind of like power through them and like make them accept an ideology, they'll do it.
No,
Well,
listen,
look
listen.
here.
Last
Well-
week, Mr. Stone and I can't even remember what fucking violent event this was, but he's posting pictures of Mike Cernovich, calling him Sam Hyde.
No, like I was calling him Ben Garrison.
There we go. And this normie's like posting the links to disprove what Mr. Stone is posting. And Mr. Stone tells him, "How can you act like that in the face of a tragedy?" The dude apologizes
Yeah, he apologized.
and deletes his fucking tweets. Just deletes them.
God.
It's probably Canadian.
Yeah, well, we could. I guess what we could say about what I was saying earlier is I'm in a group that is supposed, or I was. This is what we could say about it. I was in a group that is supposedly far right, and I was talking about the Dallas shooting, and I dropped the N-bomb like 100 times, and all these dudes that are in there are just cucking the fuck out for the word, like over and over again, how we shouldn't be talking about it, all this shit. I'm like, that's really what you're worried about right now? But then what finally did it for me is one of the faggots in there reported one of my posts, and I end up post-blocked on fucking Facebook in a group that's supposedly like super ultra right wing, and a group, the group even had an article written by this like kvetching Asian bitch, and and I'm just reading it, and like the amount of kvetch and that's like in the article over something that like by our standards these dudes are fucking cucks.
Yeah, well, they're
It's
super
like-
far right in that they want to stop Muslims from blocking gay marriage.
Right.
They want to protect their faggots.
Right. Yeah. For sure. Yeah, man. Well, I have some other like kind of. This is like, it's not exactly prep, but it's just something that someone sent me right before the show. And shouts out to Derek, who's a great goy, who has been. I met him when I was very first getting red pilled, and has been a very solid guiding light through this. But dude, this is insane, and it's relevant to Goyler stuff. So, University of Houston student suspended for 50 days and ordered to attend a diversity seminar. I mean, fucking re-education camp.
The gulag.
Because this is exactly what she put. Forget Black Lives Matter, more like all lives matter. That's it, dude.
She got suspended for that?
No, okay, so the headline's a little bit misleading because they make it like clickbaity. She got suspended from the student government, but it's actually like it's still pretty intense. Like, let me read.
Yeah.
If this shit is not like,
I mean, could they
more
not just
fucking-
put her in the pillory for a week or two?
God,
From
just
solitary?
put her in the stocks and have everyone scream at her that she's a racist.
Throw some tomatoes?
Exactly.
That fried chicken.
Yeah, I mean, dude, just okay. Listen to this shit. This is so fucking like Soviet. Listen to what the SGA did. Okay, the student government or whatever. Instead of going through that arduous process, the Student Senate approved a measure giving SGA President Shane Smith. By the way, if you're listening, Shane Smith, fuck you, dude. Exceptional one-time powers to punish Sethi as he saw
Oh,
fit.
shit. Like a
Yeah.
temporary dictator?
Exactly.
That's how it starts,
Purge.
man. And then Hitler took the guns, and Mao took the guns.
But that would be good.
Yeah. Let's see here, and then yeah, and then they go over like all of her punishments and all this shit. I mean, this. I know I'm kind of reading a lot of stuff, but I just want to. I'll try to go through it quick so you guys can shitpost on this. And by the way, Sethi, I haven't looked this broad up, but that sounds like she's fucking Indian to me, man.
Well, it's University of Houston, so quite possible.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so 50-day suspensions, blah, blah, blah. 3-day diversity workshop. She has to attend 3 U of H cultural events. This is so fuck. Oh, okay, then this is the best part because this is like she has to confess her crimes. Okay, this is so ridiculous. In order to write a letter of reflection about how her harmful actions have impacted SGA and the U of H student body. And then the final thing here. In order to put on a public presentation, September 28th, they gave her the fucking day they want it done, detailing the knowledge she has gained about cultural issues facing our society.
So
Does
like
she have to
brainwashing.
crawl out with the fucking decree stapled to her back at the noonday sun?
And walk across coals? They're gonna make her do the Cersei walk from Game of Thrones, like walk through the campus naked, everyone yelling shame.
Dude, this is so absurd. I don't even want to like get into the particular like how this is exactly like they did, that they
Yeah.
fucking did and whatever. It's just it's actually fucking comical that these idiots think that like her harmful actions. You know, like that there's actually a victim involved in like.
Well, it's never the actual victims claiming it. It's someone claiming victimhood by
Right.
proxy for someone else to exercise their power fantasies. I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah, it really is. It's
It's so fucking weak.
I mean, how do they not see the irony in like how there's like legitimately sending people to re-education camp?
Yeah.
Because they don't have the fucking horsepower for it.
I guess.
And they don't know
These are
history.
the people muddling down there, just barely above 100 IQ, that think that
Just-
they're the bee's knees.
Just fucking wait until these people are in power. I mean, if we don't turn it around and
Or
these,
Venezuela if they take power.
yeah, oh,
We
no
would be
doubt.
lucky to have fucking Venezuela with these fucking maniacs in charge.
I mean, they have guarded armed food trucks, but at least they have the agency to arrange guards for the food trucks.
If we don't
That's
break
true.
the conditioning and go after the globalists,
Okay, time for Alex Jones drops. You just triggered it.
This is the 100% super harpoon that'll run my dick down.
Yeah,
Frankly, I don't care if I get taken to the bottom of the ocean.
yeah.
I got the harpoon in my hand, and I'm pledged to it. With me. How you gather around? Hunting the globalists. Stopping to defeat us? We're never stopping.
Hunting the globalists.
Wanting the globalists. He
Yeah,
says
I think-
globalist so well.
The new meme for the Jews is establishment climbers.
Yeah.
that's a great dog
cosmopolitans.
whistle. That's
Black rim glasses.
Had that already happened whenever you guys recorded last week, or
yeah.
okay?
Yeah, I think we talked about it. I think.
The only reason that I know that we talked about it is because I have a drunken post-it note here to the side of my desk.
Sweet.
Barely
That's our
legible.
only show notes, like drunken post-it notes.
I know that's the problem. Like drinking on a podcast, you better make some fucking notes because you're not going to remember if the topic shifts.
No, I always have to listen the next day to the episode to see what we talked about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
generally.
Yeah, here
Which
we
is
go.
cool because I get to do it and I get to be a listener too.
WikiLeaks accidentally calls out Jews. Also, shout out Kevin McTrump Donald.
Nice.
Yeah. I've got to figure out. I need to find this bitch and see if she's like if she's a street shitter or what. Because like
Probably.
Seth.
Yeah, her first name's Rohini.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
No, then
that's
it's confirmed
definitely-
then. Okay.
Yeah, I found the article.
Yeah.
See, I was really involved in student government in college, but mine is more conservative. So it was, I mean, it wasn't for Wahoa, but it was, we didn't tolerate any of that bullshit.
Yeah, these Indians, they're actually somewhat kind of red-pilled occasionally. You know, like they're.
Well, they
I
hate
think,
Muslims for one.
yeah, they've had to live with Pakistan for so long, so it's like they're kind of nationalistic in a way, actually.
Yeah, I actually know there's an Indian kid at my college. He's pretty chill. And whenever I see him, I'm just like, "Fuck Pakistan, right?" And he's like, "Dude, I fucking hate Pakistan."
So
It is
my
great.
my favorite thing to do if I ever meet any Arabs, I try not to associate with them just in general, but
Yeah.
if I meet one at a bar or whatever, I just start shitting on Israel and the Jews and stuff, and it's like it always
It's
gets
the
them
one
going.
person you can actually talk to about that.
Exactly.
So, have you guys seen the Mindy Project or commercials for that fucking abomination?
I know.
Yeah, the
I know
office
what it is.
bitch. Yeah.
So,
It sounds like Molly actually listens or watches that show. He's
this-
always bringing it up.
So this fucking I saw the commercials for this probably during NFL games last year because I'm a fucking nigger egg ball junkie.
Yeah, me too, dude. It's okay.
I mean, my dad was a football coach, so I can't not like
Right?
football.
Like what the fuck can I do?
played football growing up. Like, it's a fun sport.
So Mr. Stone just sent us this link of
It's
this
her
Rohini
Facebook.
Sethi bitch, and
Oh,
she
okay.
makes
Let
the
me look
bitch
it
from the Mindy Project look like an 8.
Oh God! Ooh, yeah, she's rough. Okay, yeah. So we were like the Goilers. I was in talks with with an ally that maybe we might want to do something with this, but honestly, seeing that she's street shitter. I don't think I'm going to. Not going to do anything with this.
No. She won't, she's not gonna poo in the loo like a fucking civilized person.
Although it would be fun to go to like either UH or Rice and then just tag them with a bunch of like really racist posters.
Yeah, I think we shouldn't do this type of planning on air, but
Good call. Good call.
Well, you know, that's why we drink for the podcast. We don't have any critical thinking.
Yeah.
In vino veritas.
No filter.
Yeah, but let's just say I'll put it like this: places like colleges are really good places to do propaganda because it has like the greatest concentration of people that are gonna oy vey at it. So
Yeah, and it also has, I mean, college is probably the best ideological ground. That's where you always get radicals from. And we
Right.
need to start creating radicals at our universities.
We
That's how
should,
you
yeah.
we should get some rules. Put some rules down for radicals.
I've got one. Don't
It's
be a
actually a really
fucking
good
fag.
Have y'all read Rules for Radicals? It's by Saul Alinsky.
Yeah, no, I haven't read it.
So a lot of people on the right, they tried to make it a big deal in the 2008 election. Of course it didn't work, because normies don't care about books. But it's a book that, so Saul Alinsky is the one who wrote it. He mentored Obama in community organizing, and Hillary wrote her thesis on this book in college. It's a really good book, though, because it's basically how the leftists in the 60s took power. They weren't big in numbers, but they were very tactically proficient. Not strategically, but tactically. And that's what we need to
Tactical
become.
Can you explain the difference between those two things?
Well, strategically is kind of the big picture view. Tactically is like, what do you do on the ground? Like, what are you doing in an operation? So it's kind of like Antifa uses tactics, but they have no strategy. I think fascists use strategy, intellectuals, like the internet movement, but we don't have tactics as much.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
All right.
And Identity Europa, like the posters, that's an example of a tactic.
Yeah.
Take the streets back, really.
Well, so that's kind of that's one of the things I had thought about with the Goilers when we were when all this was getting going, because I wanted to do a podcast for a while, and then I just realized that there's plenty of podcasts out there that I like, especially Exodus Americanus being the best, obviously.
Obviously.
Clearly.
Yeah, I mean some of these other ones should probably hang it up, but you guys are doing awesome. But I just realized, if you're gonna use like your white agency to like do something in your spare time, why not try to make it something that's a little more concrete? And this goes out to you, Goy. Some Goy that is out there considering a podcast, dude. Don't do it. Meet some other guys. Do some shit IRL.
And we've
Yeah.
already mastered it, so there's not really a point of competing with us.
Exactly.
Yeah, get on the forums, go to the pool party thread, and find somebody in your
And
area.
start working out. Like, if you're not working out right now,
Right.
do it immediately.
Yeah, you should be doing air squats and things like that. Maybe possibly some dips while you're listening to us.
I'm knocking out some fingertip push-ups while we're
Exactly.
podcasting.
Yeah, for sure.
Got to go hard, man.
Yeah. Also, I want to mention alt-right anew. I believe, Bateman, you know this person. Is it underscore alt-right underscore anew or
Yeah.
something like that? Yeah. Okay. So
With a blonde lady, Marine Le Pen.
yeah, with Marine Le Pen. So that account has done a lot of work for us, and they can actually hook you up with people in your area. So get in touch. And everyone they've sent us has been legit. So
It's kind of like Grindr for the alt-right.
Swipe left to Fash.
God, I know, dude.
Swipe right to helicopter.
That's perfect, dude. That needs to be a meme. Yeah, I got a lot of. I think we got a lot of, backlash for our show appearance, where we're just kind of bashing meats and shit, and people are like, "You sounded very
dude.
prohibitive." Well, for one, you have to have standards as a group. I mean, but two, dude, what use are you to us? I'm not saying that you have to be like you have to fucking sacrifice to us, but dude, if you can't, you need to have some sort of agency. But the thing
You need to bring something to the fucking table.
right, the thing that really pisses off Goy Orbison is is the fact that these guys are so like shameless about it. They're like, I'm a fucking NEET. Why are you bashing me? It's like, dude,
Because
at
you're
least-
a genetic dead end.
Yeah.
I mean, if you are currently a NEET or whatever, and you're listening to this, dude, like, you know,
Fucking
at least,
pull the headphones out and go outside, motherfucker.
well, just
Yeah.
like you should be working on something. You should be working on yourself, or you know, having something going. And I'm not talking about like making a new meme. Like I'm talking about like normie life shit. You should be working on. Like
Yeah,
it's
if
just
you look back at the founder of America, John Smith, you know, in Jamestown, his motto was, "If you shall not work, you shall not eat." So to all you NEETs out here in the ethno state, you're not getting any tendies.
yeah, exactly.
You'll go in the oven if you don't contribute.
yeah, for sure.
And we don't mean on the content farm.
Yeah, we'll have them hooked up to the. I don't even know.
Yeah, no, like
Content
that
farm.
thing in Minority Report
Yeah.
that that have the precogs. We'll have the meme, the NEETs like that, just creating memes all day.
And they'll finally be able to shed their frail little mortal bodies and live in the 3D space that they've always dreamt of.
Yep, for sure. I mean, there are a lot of guys that do good stuff behind the scenes for our movement and everything, but it's really easy to feel like you have more effect than you really do because what you do has it makes such big waves in your community. It gives you this kind of feeling that like you have really accomplished something, when in reality, like, let's be honest, guys, a lot of what we do is just like making each other laugh, kind of like circle jerk type shit, you know? So,
Absolutely. Like, really far out there jokes nobody else would fucking get.
right. So,
Like, that's our fucking specialty.
yeah. Which, I mean, you know, I totally disagree with the people that are like, oh, we need to tone it down and all that. Fuck that, dude. We got here by being extreme, so, you
Did
know.
you all
that's-
not read The Art of the Deal? We're not extreme enough.
right.
Like, if we want the white ethno state, we need to be lobbying for a whole lot more than the white ethno state.
Yeah, I mean, you got to ask for more. Like, ask for, you know, theoretically, hypothetically, total genocide. We'll settle for our own country.
White pride, planet wide.
Exactly. Dude, okay, have any of you guys read the Turner Diaries?
Yes,
know
I
it is,
fucking
I haven't
have.
read it.
Oh,
No.
dude. Dear God, dude.
It's so bad.
It's so
Like,
incredibly shitty.
it's like what a liberal would imagine
Yes.
a conservative thought
I mean,
the,
there's like,
the right-wing revolution would look like.
yeah, there's parts of it where it's just like, it's like, yeah, you know, we saw this black guy with a van that we needed, so we just ran up behind him and murdered him and took his van. Like, that's how it starts. And then, like, towards the end of it, it's just like they just nuke every non-white country, like, everywhere. And
Like a black having a van you would want, that is fiction. If they have a van, it's not going to be a good van.
And you know it's not an Anglo if he doesn't try to buy it off of the guy for less than it's worth.
I mean, even like rich black people, they don't drive vans. It would be like the mom in a fucking Escalade.
yeah, and then the second half of it is just, it's just a list. It's like there's no, like, plot development or anything, or like character development. It's just it's like, first we nuked this place, and then we went over here and murdered all of these people, and then it's like,
Like, what are we getting at, man? Like,
it just shows you how shit tier these guys were, like, in the 90s, that you know, that were inspired by this. I'm not saying all of them, because definitely some of them had some agency, but boy, they did not have the right fucking, like, they did not have the right vision.
Yeah, we don't want to nuke anything. That'll destroy the resources we would want to take.
Right. Or, I mean, just the fact that, like, thinking that open conflict immediately is, like, the correct route. I mean, like, I don't
Yeah.
know.
You have to build the intellectual basis first. That's any
Yeah.
revolution. You have to have the intellectuals pave the way.
For sure.
and then you throw the intellectuals into the ovens because they're all fags.
Like, if you remember the American Revolution, like, we didn't start the violence. We used violence against us, the Boston Tea Party, or Boston Massacre, as basically a meme. Like, they used propaganda to make it look a lot worse than it was, and that's how they got popular support. Like, you can't look like the bad guy to win, basically.
Yeah. I think the just like all the snack bars that happened last week. I mean, Jesus, that's like some of the best like normie red pilling shit ever. I mean, I hate to like.
Yeah.
I'm not. Obviously, I don't want like white people to die. I hate seeing that, but
Gotta
I mean,
crack some eggs and make an omelet.
yeah, it's gonna fucking happen, and it really works for us.
That's what I was talking to my dad about this. It's like every time one of these Muslim attacks happens, Trump's ascension becomes more secure.
Yep.
And we know, like, the only question is, like, we know they're going to fucking happen. Is just how many are going to happen between now
Yeah.
and fucking election day.
And when
Yeah, I
we know
mean-
they're going to happen, we have to choose to make something good out of it. Otherwise, it's wasted. We have to propagandize it.
Yeah, last Sunday night, I think I was saying 20. Like, with my family, I was like, yeah, there will be at least like 20. Dude, with the rate that they happened last week, I mean, we could end up with fucking 100 more snack bars.
Yeah, I mean, they've been happening like at least several times a week now. It could become daily soon.
Every
Yeah.
84 hours, Europe experiences a terrorist attack.
Yeah, I saw a tweet earlier, and I didn't click the link, but it said in Belgium some priest got stabbed by some vibrant that he let into his
No.
house to take a shower.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I thought you were talking about Normandy, but yeah.
There's
Jesus.
already
yeah.
another. Wow.
God.
Yep.
That's
Saw that on
why
the
we
old,
haven't been covering happenings as much or as factually, because there's so many we can't keep track of them.
Right, yeah. I mean, I think some pregnant lady was disemboweled last week. The one that really like triggered the shit out of me. I'm not even sure why, but like, okay, so I know why, because there's some fucking kebab. His son like broke his leg or some shit, probably like fucking training with ISIS somewhere, but like. He broke his leg and he had to go into the hospital, get some kind of surgery or some shit, and then was having pain after the surgery. So the fucking dad brings a gigantic knife
A
up to the hospital
23-inch
Yes.
long serrated knife.
to cut the fucking doctor's head off. The guy that just gave him presumably the free fucking surgery.
Yeah, and we're the bad guys because we want to keep these motherfuckers out.
Right.
We're the fucking racists here. Like, we're the bad people.
Yeah.
I saw this tweet. It was like talking about how absurd this whole Muslim dad from the DNC thing is. Basically, his son died in a war that Clinton voted for, fighting other Muslims, and our solution is to bring more in.
Right.
What? It doesn't make when you lay out
fucking
the
high?
actual argument, it makes no sense.
Yeah, he's mad at Trump, who said from the beginning that we shouldn't have gone over there.
Right.
Yeah, and
His
he
son
wants to
would
vote
still
for the
be
lady
alive.
who will start another one and kill more people's sons.
Right. Jesus Christ. Like, we really do live in a fucking upside down world when, like, a brown person gets showed out of student government and gets sent to re-education camp just for
By a bunch
saying
of
that.
whites.
By a bunch of
For not
whites.
saying blacks matter.
Right.
It's like a really fucked up Mad Lib that's not even funny because it doesn't make any sense.
Well, somebody on Twitter was talking about, one of these, similar news stories to this kind of fucking insanity. They're like, stop the ride, I want to get off. I'm like, dude, there's no getting off.
Yeah.
Like, the bus has plowed straight through the fucking guardrail. You
The
can
ride
hit the
never
brakes
ends.
all you want. We're not slowing down.
Yeah, unless you vote for moon bases, then we're not getting off.
Right.
And then in like 10 years, they'll probably be wanting to open the moon border and like make it the moon is too white, like a think piece on
Yeah.
Huffington Post.
The moon's not diverse enough.
We need to enrich the moon, and then it becomes like full of shit.
What was that shitty Matt Damon movie where white people were evil for not wanting to live around a bunch of beaners?
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
Elysium.
Elysium.
Yeah.
That was a great movie because when you'd go to Elysium, it's like, oh, this place is great. Like, no wonder they want to keep off these fucking surface-dwelling faggots.
Right.
These fucking
And then, okay, that
troglodytes.
You know that character that was almost like a Patrick Bateman? Because he just had the red tie in every scene. He's supposed to be evil businessman. And then you realize, like, oh, he's the good guy in this.
Yeah, I didn't see it. Did you
Trying to
see
keep
that?
the only beautiful thing on Earth, Elysium,
Right.
pure.
I know. And then, like, the part that you're supposed to root for is when they, like, break through and just like start like crashing
chimping
through all
out.
these people's houses and shit.
Destroying everything, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, maybe that was like a red pilled movie, actually.
Yeah, and you're like, yeah, man, fuck this, like this random family's house, like fuck them.
Yeah, and they were using like some degenerate pirate pimp to get to Elysium.
Exactly.
Oh, you gotta pay me some money, but I gotta kill this guy first.
I'm pretty sure that was the same director who did the Alien movie in South Africa. What was that? District
9.
Oh,
District
I
9.
think they are red pilled then if they chose South Africa, because that's what happened in South Africa.
Yeah.
Well, actually, the movie District 9 is a lot less brutal than real life South Africa.
Yeah,
it's a
exactly.
tame version.
I would rather live around those fucking aliens than a bunch of those South African niggas.
I know the aliens
They probably
didn't
smell
actually
better.
seem too bad.
Right?
And
For
the
the most
music's
part, they
probably more
minded their own
pleasant.
business.
Dude,
Yeah, I mean, none of them had any jobs really, but
Well, it's like in Mass Effect 2. I would pick Garrus over the black guy anytime. That alien is very white.
Dude, if you get the DLC for Mass Effect 2, one of the dudes that you can get for your party is this angry South African mercenary.
Oh, nice.
He's got that South African accent.
yeah. Yeah, do you know just Matt Damon had to have loved the fact that this script is basically him sacrificing himself for a brown person, a brown little baby. That's
Okay,
how
but
it
Matt
ends.
Damon, he's in some hot water now because
yeah, because
there's
he's
this.
the only white guy in this Great Wall of China movie.
It's like Great Wall of China, and it's Matt Damon's face on the front, and it's like, what were they trying to keep out?
The goddamn fins.
The best thing is, I did some research, and apparently, like, the reason they picked Matt Damon, it's because the
you did
Chinese
what?
movie executives, they know that Chinese people want to watch white actors. They don't want to
yeah.
see Chinese actors.
Yeah,
Did you
you're
just
right.
say that you did research?
I mean, I googled it.
Disavow.
It wasn't for show prep though. I'm just a big Matt Damon fan.
Oh, I fucking hate that piece of shit.
Oh, dude, he's such a cuck.
Okay,
I mean,
Good Will Hunting though, pretty based. Where he plays like the Boston working class guy who punches out all the Ivy League faggots. I mean, that's a good movie. And the Bourne movies are pretty cool.
yeah,
But
you
he's
know,
such a fucking bag.
pretty soon we're gonna
In
have.
real life, yeah.
Yeah,
But he's a good actor.
I did love all like the narrative clash of him like lecturing the black lady on like what diversity meant.
Yeah. Interrupting her,
Yeah.
like talking over her.
Yeah, that
In The
was great.
Martian, he does establish an ethnic state on Mars.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
All right, so is that about good for the first half? Do we want to take
Yeah.
a break?
Yeah, we got
yeah,
a
we
solid
hit none of
hour
the
in.
topics, so that's good.
No, yeah, we can come back to the second half. Well, we have an hour if we don't edit out Wooderson doxing himself.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's do that.
Find me here.jpg.
All right, everybody, go grab another beer. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
Welcome back to Exodus Americanus. I'm the White Power Ranger. That's at Roscoe SB Jones on Twitter. Joined as always by Donald Bateman. He's at Nationalism Rise, and Mr. Stone over at Exo Americanus. Joined by our special guest. What are we supposed to call you, Jared Tater?
No. Call me Wooderson.
Wooderson. All right, that's at W00D3RS. And is that another zero?
Yes, sir. But really, where I want you to follow me is at Houston Goilers on Twitter. That's what really matters in this.
Houston Goilers. There we go. All right, now we've not covered any fucking topics, so I thought the next best thing that we could do is just take a big fat shit on the DNC.
Sure.
Now
Yeah, where to start?
right, like,
Well, okay, I'll tell you where to start. The best part of it was the balloons.
Oh yeah, with Hillary freaking the fuck out and acting like she's never seen a balloon before.
My most enjoyable moments of it were watching the balloons.
So the first place I want to start with is we're talking about big steaming shits on things. The DNC took a fat dump right on the heads of all of the Bernie supporters.
Yeah.
So I'm watching this shit, and the Bernie supporters walk the fuck out. They bail. And CNN has this bright idea, like, all right, well, now that people have started walking out, we're going to go Speed with Keanu Reeves, where they loop the security footage.
Yeah.
They're looping the crowd footage. It's like 1 second everybody's walking out, and the next second they're all seated again. And my autistic brain picked that up pretty quick. So the next time they show the crowd, they killed the lights over where everybody walked out. They go to their shitty commercial break, and they come back, and I can see on I think it was Cernovich's stream, all these Bernie delegates are outside raising a kerfluffle, if you will. But on CNN, fucking every seat is filled. Half of the delegation walks out. Half of the arena's emptied. They're all outside screaming, but everybody's still seated inside.
Yeah, and that definitely went over the normies' heads. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Can you imagine the way they would have covered it if that had happened at the fucking RNC?
Look at what they did with when Alaska threw a fit. It was all they talked about for the entire next day.
Yeah,
it's fucking Alaska. Bunch of snow niggers.
Dude, okay, so I know we're already going off topic again, but you know what? I'm gonna do this.
You're fitting right in.
Yeah, okay. So I saw this thing that I think the dude's, I think it's John Rivers or some shit on Twitter. Y'all know that guy?
I follow him like hell.
Yeah, so
sometimes I actually direct tweet to him so I can get if I'm arguing with normies, I'll tweet to him and request a specific graph, and motherfucker just manifests it.
Okay, so this dude, he posted where it's over 60% non-white children being that are in school or something like that. And dude, fucking Alaska, almost the entirety of Alaska is that. What is going on in Alaska? Are we talking all Eskimo kids or what the fuck? I thought it was a bunch of white people up there.
Well, have you seen that movie, The Third Kind?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I love that movie.
I'm assuming that everyone's being abducted by Sumerian aliens. That's the official alt-right position.
Oh, my God. That's honestly the best joke of the show, I think.
It's the fourth kind, though, so you kind of fucked that up.
Well, fuck. Everyone feel free to disavow me on Twitter.
Well, I disavow Alaska. I thought I was sort of pro-Alaska, but now what the fuck is happening, Alaska? God damn it.
And, hear you talking like that, you know what? We can let the non-continental states go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Let them go. It's fine. We don't need them.
Honestly, though, considering we're all, colluding with the Russians and everything, we'll just keep it sort of as it'll be a DMZ with us and the Russians.
That's a good segue to get into the Russian stuff. Give Alaska back to the Russians. Because we're actually sleeper agents.
Yeah, that's our plan. We're hired by the Kremlin, and we're just doing everything to undermine American democracy, of course.
Yeah, I'm getting paid 1 Bitcoin a day. How about you guys?
I am, how
I
you
get paid in
say,
potatoes.
Russian Guyovich, and I know
Well-
nothing of KGB plot to overthrow democracy.
I'm wearing blue jeans. I'm a good American.
They offered me 1,000 rubles a week, and I took it, and I didn't realize it was only like $1.50 each.
I wear my
So I got
Mickey
fucked.
Mouse T-shirt and my Michael Jordan shoes. I am
Yeah.
capitalist like you now.
Yeah, I love. So I have to go to the Home Depot that's on the south side of Houston on a regular basis, and you all inevitably you see like all of the beaners that are standing around to waiting to get picked up. To like, I don't like who's picking these fucking guys up.
I
Like,
don't know because like I mean I work for a real construction company, not one that goes to fucking Home Depot to pick people up.
Right.
Like we have a corporate structure that's
I've
not
never
just,
seen that.
The HR department's like, well, maybe there's some guys over there that are pretty good. Find some welders. Like they don't have any tools.
Yeah, I mean, like, and you have no fucking idea what this dude's skills are. You know,
It might be like a sex slave thing.
well, not by the looks of these.
That's the most alright thing in the world, man.
Not by the looks of these. But they inevitably, like, I always look, and I'm a white dude, like, rolling up in a work truck, and they're like, they are so fucking happy to see me. It's ridiculous. But,
Have you seen that video where the guy picks up a bunch of them?
yeah,
and
dude,
drives to
Ari
the
Shaffir.
The
he drives
amazing
to
racist?
the immigration office. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
that dude's such a hardcore Jew.
Well, they wouldn't let a white guy get away with that.
Oh, of course not. Yeah, dude, he would be, like, crucified if he did that shit. But
Well, he should
but
be,
inevitably,
because,
like talking about the KGB agents, like wearing Mickey Mouse t-shirts and blue jeans, like
Aviators.
at least 2 of them will have like an American flag shirt on.
With Tweety Bird on it?
Probably. God, I love how like hipsterdom has picked up on how lame all that Tweety Bird, like I don't even know what you call it, but that Disney shit or whatever. Now I see like hipster chicks wearing a fucking like ironic Tweety Bird or like Looney Tunes shirt.
That's
Normie
flea market
cord.
shit, man.
Yeah.
I actually kind of like normie corbs. At least people are wearing like actual clothing now.
Yeah.
Now we have to get hipsters to understand that Disney used to be pretty sweet before it got completely Jewed out by
Yeah,
Will
Walt
Eisner?
Disney was like a raging anti-Semite.
Yeah, he was. I think I actually heard maybe it was either Hidden Mysteries or Radio Aryan, and they went over the whole like, dude, a bunch of Jews got in there and literally like wrestled control away from like the goys that were left over when he died. I mean, it was like a serious fucking hostile like Jewish takeover.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what it was? Oh fuck! It was the guy. It was one of the dudes from Political Cesspool that was telling like IRL talking about this shit, and then after they put out the like after that happened, they started coming out with all these degenerate movies like immediately after the Jews took control of it. It's fucking insane.
Yeah, I think it was like the late 80s when they first took control.
Yeah, I think one of their like first really degenerate ones, and I'd have
Beauty
to
and
go
the
back
Beast
and
is where it
watch.
starts, right?
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say that. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I have a little bit of exposure to that, but not a huge amount.
Yeah, I think we talked about it in one episode a long time ago.
Yeah, I like how I've just completely derailed the podcast. Like we did DNC for like 5 minutes, and I'm like, oh, let me talk.
Oh, dude,
We're
that's
gonna
what we do
derail
every
that
fucking
shit.
week.
Yeah,
Like
I know.
we start on these topics and we end up like not even remotely close to where we started.
The less we talk about actual events that happen, the better our show is.
I know because the people out there, they're already hearing 100
Yeah.
different podcasts talk about,
And they already
whatever it
listened to
is.
Fashion the Nation, which comes out on Saturday, that actually talks about everything in detail. We
Right.
can never match because we're not going to prepare that much. We're not nerds.
Exactly.
Like
Shout out to
jazz
Jazz
hands.
Yeah, fucking jazz hand nerd
Hey,
guy.
Jazz Hand, he did shout us out though, so he's our ally.
Yeah.
Savin.
No, I mean, I listened to that. I mean, I think we can all agree that is that's one of the best like parts of Saturdays putting that on.
Oh yeah, it's the best podcast there is. It's
Yeah.
one of
The
the one
best
podcasts,
things that
obviously.
has happened to our
Yeah.
movement.
Yeah, I show like any people that are even like not fully red pilled. I'm like, here, like watch.
Yeah, I
listen
just
to
sent
this.
like one of my normie friends that's like from California and is like really red pilled, big on Trump. I just like introduced him to Fascination. He's like, this is really good.
Yeah. It's so classic. I had I've talked about this guy on other shows and stuff, but I have a friend that I grew up with who's like now completely red pilled on everything. But when I first showed him the Shoah, he was like, I got a message from him that was something like, yeah, I get all the racism, but what's up with the Jewish thing?
Well, I introduced Mr. Stone to the Shoah, and do you remember your first exposure to that?
No.
Okay.
That was so long ago.
Dude, you hit the ground
like 8
running so
months.
fucking fast.
Well,
Oh,
how I brought my buddy over eventually is I talked to him about, I was like, yeah, man, the Jews are always subverting stuff. But the example I used for him, I'm like, look at all the people that got us into the Iraq War, the neocons. I'm like, they're all Jews. And then he sent me like, well, that's see, people like this can be red pilled because he went and looked it up. A lot of people will just go like, no, and turn away. He went and fucking
People that
Googled
have
it.
actual intellectual curiosity, they'll check it out.
Yeah. So he went and he sent me a screenshot of the Wikipedia page about neocons. He was like, dude, you're right.
Isn't that an amazing feeling of like that confirmation of like, even though you know it's correct, somebody else that you sort of trust being like, all right, you're not batshit insane.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like when I was first on the JQ, it was like, because I got in, I was reading Radix and like Jared Taylor and that kind of stuff first, and I'd been on Paul for years, so I'd always seen, the Jew stuff. But it was when I really started looking at all of Trump's critics and their background, and I saw those pictures like, these people push for feminism, these people push for immigration, and then I'd look it up, and I looked up like the Bolshevik Revolution, and every single Wikipedia page, the people were Jewish, and I was like, okay, like I can't deny this anymore.
Yeah. I sometimes I still listen to like normie libertarian type stuff, and they had like libertarians, a libertarian that was making the argument for Trump, and then a libertarian that was making the argument against Trump. Do you want to guess how hard the fucking guy that echoed was? That was
Against.
yeah,
Steinowitz, Witz,
Steinowitz, Bergstein.
Blatt.
Schwartz.
Exactly, dude. Well, it really though, I mean, like all of the people that are against him, or the major people, once you start looking at them, I mean, they're either Jews or have some fucking connection to it.
Yeah. And I even started looking at like Jewish people I know in my life because, I've hooked up with Jewish girls before I know about the JQ. Like I've had friends of them my entire life because Houston's very diverse. And then I kind of look back and I'm like, like they always did seem a little off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're just like sickly little white people that hate us.
Yeah.
And they're always the people that counter signal against like white people or they complain about white people. And then you're like, at the time you're confused. It's like, you're white too. But then it's like, oh.
You're not white.
Yeah, I mean, I talked about the half Jewish guy that's a good friend of mine from back in the day. You guys can call me a fucking cuck for being friends with a half Jewish guy if you want. But
I wish we had that Daily Show drop.
Yeah.
I'm half Jewish.
I'm half Jewish. No, I only like Brady Spiral on Twitter, not in real life.
Yeah. Yeah, but he knows. Like, I was talking to him just earlier. I'm like, dude, you realize how ridiculous it is that like your two major jobs have been like fucking pushing degeneracy? Like, how classic is that, bro? He's like, yeah. He's like, I know. He's like, the only way I could really like make it more real is if I just like moved out to Hollywood and started, producing movies.
It's actually like, so I have some Jewish people I know in college because they're involved with college Republican student government. Of course. Of course. But it's fun. It's fun talking to them and I'll be like, "Oh, I'm a good goy," and then like you'll just look at their face and they're just kind of like they recognize it and they start laughing because
Yeah,
they're
'cause
almost
it's
like
so
intrigued
ridiculous.
that someone knows about their
Did
game.
you guys listen to Chuck Johnson on Fashion the Nation last week?
Oh,
Yeah.
of course, dude.
I mean,
That was
and
a great interview.
I have employed that tactic of dropping that little stuff like like little stuff about the Goyim and shit like that. And the second that they know that you know about their bullshit, they don't fucking try it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah, because-
goddamn clockwork.
because
Yeah.
they really do look at most goyim as cattle, as dumb,
Mhm.
and then. If we're honest, most normies are fucking dumb. Like, I don't disagree with them.
Dude, what's our
Right,
name?
yeah.
That a normie can't pass the Turing test?
Yeah,
Like,
they can't.
like I.
Normies don't have sentience or consciousness. They're non-player characters.
Dude, you sound like a fellow guy in the Goilers. He's like Normie War now.
See, I'm a crypto normie, so I can live in normie world, but I know of their ways, of course.
Dude,
I
I'm-
live in normie world, but I fucking hate it.
Yeah, I mean, when I get in a situation where it's like me and a bunch of normies, I'm like, okay, what are we supposed to talk about right now?
Sports.
Especially after, like, I mean, setting up the Goilers and just basically, I mean, every weekend, constantly hanging out with these guys. It's like, dude, I mean, I'm getting pretty fucking out there, bro.
Yeah, it's a lot hard for me to hide it. Like, I'll be at college bars and I'll be like, dude, like, we don't want non-whites in our country, right? And he's like, yeah, that's true. Like, one of my drunk bros. Because I say it so innocently. It's like, dude, like, come on. Like, what are you, gay? Like,
Come on, man. Just let me jerk you off a little. It's not gay if one of us has our pants on.
It's not gay if you're getting sucked.
I think that was a Socrates quote.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
No, actually, I think that one came from Plato.
Yeah,
He got it from Socrates because he wasn't on the getting end.
Dude,
It's on the
Bateman,
receiving end of the metaphor.
I caught a little bit of you spurging out on Twitter about like how Socrates didn't have enough agency to write a book.
Oh yeah, he's a fucking neat. He was shit. Yeah, I said like Alexander, because the progression goes Socrates and then Plato, Aristotle, then Aristotle trained Alexander the Great. So I was basically saying like, yeah, Alexander the Great was the best, and then it goes down from there because Socrates didn't do shit. He's fucking lazy as fuck, and he corrupted the youth.
So I love how you take the establishment line on that.
Yeah, but I do it in like a much different direction than like. That's what I like to do. Actually, it's like I'll claim a normie stance, but for like the complete different
Get that
reason as
really
them.
Fucking weird.
It's like, yeah, I agree with the divest movement, the BDS, because fuck the Jews, man. And they're like, no, it's about settlements in Palestine. I'm like, no, the Palestinians need to get gas too. And then I just go on that tangent, and they're just like, what the fuck?
See, in my dream scenario, Israel just rolls out their killdozers
Yeah.
and flattens Palestine, and then finally we no longer have to deal with all this fucking Jewish guilt about
Hey,
World War II.
Shouts out to the guy that created the Killdozer. I know you're listening out there. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's a big listener.
He has to be. It's probably Sam Hyde.
Yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
I don't think I've laughed this much during an episode in a while. I'm starting to get myself a headache from laughing so much. Fuck.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Oh, man. Good times.
It's because now the Texas people are half of the chat here, so Texans are obviously more funny naturally.
Yeah, definitely.
It's genetic.
This is like Texas is a state full of alpha males. That's what it is.
Yeah, because
I'm
we're
just-
the America of America. It's the
But
alpha
Watterson,
state.
I'm glad that you actually have the Texas accent, unlike Bateman's non-regional diction.
Okay,
Well,
so
I'm a
do.
rootless cosmopolitan. I grew up in Houston.
I'm glad you think I have an accent because I don't really notice it.
Oh, it's very slight.
Okay,
It's,
perfect.
you bring that shit to the Midwest, I think it'll go over so good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're no Asmodor, but
Oh yeah. Man, I showed a fellow Texan buddy Asmodor, and he was like, "Holy fuck, these guys!"
Is
yeah, they're coming back. They're
is
coming
that
back. I
fucking
saw this
Aleister
post.
Crowley?
Well, they've done one, and I I'm probably like half of the traffic to their website because I'm constantly checking to see if there's a new show.
Oh, dude, I love Hidden Mysteries.
Oh, it's so good. I mean, it's like Asmodor will be like breaking down some like really intense topic, and then Ghost will just be like, "Yeah, and you know, like the Republicans are all faggots."
Marco Rubio, hashtag Foam Daddy.
Just out of left field too. It's great.
So is Ghost all right? Did he not die?
No, he didn't die.
Nice.
Yeah, which
Well
we're
done,
all,
sir.
We're all really happy about that.
You fucking ain't right, we are.
I'm a
yeah.
big fan of not dying personally.
Yeah, me too.
Especially dudes who put out podcasts I listen to.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
So who's gonna be like at some point during all this shit, somebody that does one of these shows is gonna get murdered by a nigger.
Oh, dude, come on, man.
Like you know,
Jesus.
like just fucking the lines of it. Like somebody's gonna end up in some fucking dispute.
I'm
And
not
they're
sure they
either-
have the agency to like track someone down like that.
Well, Asmodor actually has
Maybe like a
his real name
random
and
one
stuff
when
out
they're just
there.
walking down the street.
Yeah.
But
I
not
actually-
like a targeted one.
No,
I do-
it's not gonna be targeted or anything. And we're gonna have this fucking debacle of like, we want to honor this guy, but we don't want to fucking dox him.
I do worry about the fact that, like, I'm pretty sure Az is a felon. I don't know if he can own weapons, and he is. I'm sure. I don't know it, but I'm sure his real name. He knows he's doxxed. Like he's said it many times.
He's linked articles about himself.
Right. Exactly. So I mean, that means he can't own firearms. I pretty much at this point. If I was to get doxxed or something, I think my official statement would be like, "Come see me, pussy," or some shit like that.
I like
I'll be
it.
at Memorial Park.
Right, exactly. Yeah, dude. Do you want to get lit the fuck up? I don't think you do.
And Texas has very good laws on self-defense.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
You'd be fine.
I know,
No.
like,
Shit, you
Greg
just hit
Abbott
a
would be
couple.
like, "This is a good guy."
yeah.
You just hit a couple Antifa Twitters and turn it into a two third-party actors getting it on while you watch.
Yeah. I mean, shouts out to literally Pinochet at LIT_Pinochet. I don't think he would mind me talking about this. He had someone that he met on a study abroad program. This is a fellow Goyler, by the way. He had a guy that said like that he was going to skin him or something like that, or that wanted to skin him. That he met when he was in Europe. Dude, that is so fucking insane. Like, and what I told him is I was like, tell that faggot to bring it over here and try that shit.
Well, see, that's the fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a completely unrealistic movie because nobody unloads on that guy.
Yeah,
I know, right?
it's Texas.
Like the dude, you're gonna tell me that guy gets that chainsaw above his head without getting shot?
Well,
Bullshit.
In all the movies, it's not like other Texans. It's like fucking Swipples driving through no man's land.
And I don't think I mentioned this, but this was over racism. That the guy was like talking about this whole skinning thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
so it was a non-white threatening a white guy, or
No, it was a fucking a white guy. You know, honestly, I think some of these white dudes, because other Goylers have talked to me about this. I don't have a lot of like my friends that live abroad that are, you know, like I've got a New Zealander buddy. He's fashy and stuff. Like my normies that I know like from other countries are pretty fashy, but like other Goylers have talked to me about these European dudes. A lot of them, they're like aggressively cucked. They're fucking turbo cucked. It's like they feel this need to like signal extremely fucking hard against you, compared to where an American person would just kind of be like, "Ugh, that's like socially unfashionable," and like leave it alone.
and put a
like-
flag over their Facebook profile picture.
Right? Like these European dudes feel this need to like really go after you. You know?
Well, that's why Antifa is such, so much more of a threat in Europe than it is over here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and they get state funding.
That
In
goes a
Europe.
long way. And
Dude,
it
how
probably doesn't
insane
help
is
that
that?
these Antifa guys, if they showed up in Cleveland, do you think Bikers for Trump would have had a lot of patience for that shit?
Yeah, right.
No,
Yeah,
It's like
dude.
the Battle of Sacramento. It was what 20
Yeah.
versus like 100, 120.
It's like And the Antifa got like BTFO'd in all the videos that I saw.
Yeah, they
Y'all
had
got
weapons,
stabbed.
and all the Sacramento guys only had shields.
The last thing you see, like somebody's taking your knife away from you. They've used it on you, and the last thing you see is fucking Heimbach stepping over you.
Wow. Yeah, I'm not sure if he was actually there, but yeah.
Well, maybe somebody in a Heimbach mask.
Yeah. Dude.
It was Sam Hyde and Heimbach. Dude's a fucking menace.
Yeah. You know, actually, after I saw that, I went on the internet and I bought like one of my favorite internet purchases as of late. It was this expandable police baton, and this thing is like fucking 3 foot long when it comes out. And I mean,
Oh, the little telescoping baton?
yes.
I got one of those in my car door.
Okay, dude. Yes, I have mine in my glove box.
You want to talk about a crippling weapon?
Okay, so I thought that yeah, I don't carry my my handgun around just because, you know, who knows, I may want to have a fucking beer and then I get pulled over and the next thing you know, like, yeah.
It's a whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. So
You got to get Jews involved.
exactly. Yeah, I gotta go get a mercenary Jew to fight the establishment for me. Yeah, but yeah, so I bought that thing and I was like, fucking yes, I'm gonna start like bringing this shit. Like I'm gonna show up to like a BLM thing with this, you know, just to protect my, you know, not to beat people, but just fucking, I thought I was going to be able to carry it as some sort of protection, right? And then I'm talking to a fellow Goy who has connections to law enforcement and the fucking courts and shit. And he was like, yeah, dude, no, that's a club in Texas. Like if you carry, openly carrying that is a fucking crime. You can't do that.
Shit.
Yeah.
In Texas?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's considered a club. So, I mean, I figure just keep it in the glove box.
Yep. If I got to pull that thing out, shit just got real. That means
Oh,
somebody took my
fuck
handgun
yeah.
away from me. That's
Yeah.
the fixed bayonets moment right there.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys are familiar with the parlance. A fixed bayonets means things have gone incredibly wrong.
Yeah. Gotta
That's
bring out
like,
the stabby. My dad actually has a bayonet rifle.
That's similar to FUBAR, right?
Oh yeah. Like
Do you know you were in the
a
military?
serviceman.
Okay, yeah, I was worried I was going to dox you
Thank
there,
you
but
for your service, Goy.
Thanks for paying my student loans, man.
can you do you know the other ones? I know it's like FUBAR. There's a few of them, right? Like, don't
there's
you guys?
Well, there's so much like fucking jargon and stuff that's like there's so much stuff that's coming through the media that I think the media has influenced it just as much as it has the media.
Well, because FUBAR is like, if people don't know, fucked up by
Beyond
all
all.
recognition, right?
Yep.
Okay. And then there's another one, Snafu, right?
Yep.
What's
Situation
snafu?
normal, all fucked up.
I love that shit.
So like listen to this shit. Like when I was at basic training, like I was a little bit older than most of the dudes. And so I'm sitting there, you know, a few weeks in, and this guy who's not even one of our drill sergeants comes over to me at lunch, and he says to me, he sees the number that's basically stamped on my forehead, and he says, "Why the fuck you think you didn't have to shave today, Private?" Drill sergeant, I did shave today. Don't you stand there and fucking lie to me. So I had to do a push-up, and to every person that came through lunch that day, I had to say, you know, welcome to Fort Benning, home of the infantry. Shave your goddamn face every goddamn day. So, and I did shave, and this goes on for a fucking week until this dude comes in at 4:30 in the morning to watch me shave, shower, and shit.
Oh my god.
So at lunch that day, he comes to see me again. It's like, all right, well, Private, I guess you're gonna have to carry a razor in your pocket. So, dude fucking smokes me again the next day. My drill sergeant said, all right, here's what you're gonna do. When he's giving you your count, you know, what the drill sergeant would do would be, you know, count your push-up 1, 2, 3, and then 1. You know, you would count off the 1 to signify the rep. He said, just say 0 until he gets bored. So, oh man, that's a really good idea. All right. Anybody that's younger, don't do anything like that. That is a terrible idea. And I'm still friends with that drill sergeant to this day on Facebook.
What a dick.
Oh my god. Ugh. I survived though. That's the important thing.
Hell yeah. I think that other guy, he just didn't like the cut of your jib, man.
Well, it's kind of weird because he stepped in for me a few times when I was getting my shit wrecked and looked out for a little buddy.
That's good.
Yeah, I had an injury, fucked up my foot during one training cycle.
Oh yeah. Well, that's kind of how I do. I mean, like, people that I actually like, I'm gonna give them the most shit. Like, people that I don't really like, I'm just not gonna bother.
Yeah.
Well, it's like anybody. Like, I didn't roll over like a little bitch when he started smoking me.
Right. Exactly.
It's like, oh shit, this guy actually has a spine. He's got a fucking personality.
Hell yeah.
And that's how you score bitches or drill sergeants, I guess.
Right,
You want to be
yeah.
really alt-right.
Well, yeah, we can get really alt-right here for a second, and I can drop some PUA tips for all you young guys out there. If you're headed into a situation where you want to like talk to some women, but they already know the guys in the scenario, win over the men first. Just completely ignore the women. Start talking to the men. And win them over, and then you're golden with the chicks.
The women will follow. Like, you think any fucking women were leading the American Revolution, or the French Revolution, or Bolshevik Revolution? Any revolution, it's always fucking men. Because women can't even carry heavy things. How could they overthrow a government?
The Bolsheviks.
I don't know, man. My SC looks like it's starting to get pretty heavy after about 7 months. I hate to be carrying that shit around. Feel so bad for my incubator, or my wife, if you will.
Dude, your child's just gonna come out with a fucking swastika tattooed on its chest.
With a Richard Spencer haircut.
Fuck yeah.
Yes.
Fashy baby.
Oh, I'm gonna like do little things with the kid to like signal the fashiness.
Yeah,
I bet once we said this, there's gonna be like some Twitter account posting a picture of their baby with the fashy haircut. It's gonna happen now. We're gonna meme it into reality.
Yeah, you just don't want to push them too hard because
Then they become a liberal.
Or exactly, dude.
Like, I have family friends, like one of my mom's like childhood friends. She's like super liberal hippie, like, lives in Austin, and her son became like a super conservative just because she was like so liberal. Like, that's the thing, like, and that's why I have hope for the youth, because when they see so much pause, they're just like, everyone wants to react against the system. When the system is just pushing all the pause, kids will want to react, and the only way to be a rebel in today's society is to be, a fascist or a nationalist.
Right.
Traditionalist. Like, to have any standards at all is to stand against modernity.
To have like a healthy modern like nuclear family, that's rebellion.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I really do like this this meme that we need to push like 1.6 billion Muslims. Like, we need to bring them all here.
Every single one of them.
Yeah.
And it'll make it a lot easier to cleanse the planet of them, I guess.
Yeah, they're all in one spot.
Well, that's the thing. I love counter signaling, like normies that are like that say to me, "Yeah, we can have, people can come here. They just need to assimilate." And I always just say, "No, I don't want them to assimilate. It'll make it harder to kick them out when the time comes."
Yeah. And even if they're assimilated, they're only like 25% good as like a normal one.
Right.
If that. That's a
That might
lot
be a
of
little
wiggle room.
generous.
Yeah.
Maybe the hot ones are 25%.
But I honestly believe that the people that say that type of shit, they don't really believe it. And I don't think they buy that shit.
It's more signaling.
Yeah.
Well, I've said it 1,000 times on this show. It's that Seventh Son quote that it's not that most people disagree with us. They've never heard our arguments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That was me, like, when I first started reading alt-right stuff, I was like, wow, this is so much better than Politico, CNN, political analysis.
And once I became, like, actually race conscious and shit, all this stuff that I couldn't reconcile just fell into place.
Yep. It's true. talk about having trouble reconciling stuff. I mean, I was a diehard libertarian for so long, and I could never really reconcile like the open borders thing. Like, because if I started thinking about it, I'm like, wait, so we're just supposed to completely open the borders and let the fucking like just like the brown horde stream in, you know?
All of them.
And that never made sense to me, you know? But I was just kind of like cognitive dissonance, like, you know, which is why I really try to identify the cognitive dissonance I have now, which is that, you know, I mean, conservative estimates, we have 11 million illegals. You know, the real
Get the fuck
estimates,
out of here with that
right?
number.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's more like 30 or 40 million, something like that. And
100, 120.
exactly. Do I really want to live in a society that, like, I don't know, where it's like this massive deportation shit happening? I mean, I do, but I think that people are kidding themselves if they think that like their normal life where they're just gonna eat fucking chicken fingers and play video games and shit, like while the deportation squads are going around, like, dude, it's gonna be.
It's gonna get real.
Here's
Yeah.
the thing, like,
Weren't we
actually,
talking? We were
this
talking
is
about
something
this on the
fucking,
last hate hike.
this is
Yeah.
something Cantwell talked about. Is, you know, this situation of all this fucking desegregation was created by the government or whatever. And to undo this problem, some of us are going to have to stain our fucking souls.
Yeah.
We're going to have
Yeah.
to become monsters and pariahs
Yep.
in the ethno-state that we want to create and preserve.
To create
Right.
something good for our kids. I mean, that's
we
any
have-
colonists, like American colonists. They live through shit to maybe forge a better world for their ancestors.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not saying I don't want it to happen. It's just like, don't fucking kid yourself. Like, this is going to
Yeah.
be,
It won't be easy.
Ugly.
yeah, very, very ugly.
That's one of the things that I have, you know, talked about Mr. Stone with off the air, is that got a lot of hard decisions that we're going to have to make in our lifetimes.
Yep.
And they're only going to get harder and weirder.
I tell you what, if they really do come up with some sort of deportation force or whatever, like, I'm joining.
I'm in.
Dude. Yeah.
I want to build the wall. Like, I'm in construction. I could be an engineer on the wall.
Yeah.
200
Sure.
feet tall.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, actually, it worried me. I don't know if you heard Trump say something like, "Yeah, well, we don't have to build the whole wall. Like, there are physical barriers, like mountains and stuff." And that's something we had talked about at break that we were maybe going to bring into it. I went to the most paused high school you could ever fucking possibly imagine, and we did a border studies thing where we actually went down to the border. And dude, so our current policy on the border, what we're doing is we make the easy shit difficult. So like, just where you could like hop the fucking fence and be in America, you know, from like one city to another city, or just like a short drive type deal. We police the fuck out of that. And then the hard parts, we leave basically open and not very policed, to where like, if you want to make it, like, you gotta fucking walk through the desert for like days and days and days, and like possibly fucking die trying to
Throw
cross
some
mountains and shit.
landmines.
Yeah. So the thing is, though, is like, that's our current policy, and it's obviously not working because they found the routes like through the mountains and through these really difficult parts. And so when I heard Trump like saying, "Oh, well, we don't have to build the entire wall," it's like, no, fuck that. We really do need to. Like, it needs to be like cut back on fucking empire build, like this worldwide
This
global
nation-building
empire.
shit.
Yeah, exactly. And spend the money on actually having the wall protected, you know.
Take
Think about
every
what that would
single
spiritually
soldier.
do for us
Yeah.
if we completed that project.
Well, it's
Right.
like having your door locked at night in your house makes you feel safer. A wall around the country will make people feel safer, and it's about feeling more than even reality.
Yeah, and I'm reading Mein Kampf right now, and that that struggle is kind of important, you know, for a race to have.
Oh yeah, because if you don't go through the struggle, you won't produce the leaders that you'll need to lead you to greatness.
Yeah, so listen to this fucking paused high school that I went to. We had we had an entire semester about white privilege. And so they did this thing where they got us all together and they put us at a starting line. And this must have come from like Cat Lady Bible Camp or some shit. Like I don't know where the fuck they came up with this, but they put us all in a row. And they said, okay, if you're white, take a step forward. If you're black, take a step back. If you're
And then go in the oven.
if you're if you're male, take a step forward. If you're straight, take a step forward. Like all this shit, right? Literally going through the whole thing. And so to where me and and this is a small class, mind you. I mean, it's like, probably had like 15 kids or something in it. To where me and my buddy, the only two like white males in the class, are looking at each other and we're like, dude, this is fucked up. We're standing at the front of the they're like, okay, this is the finish line. So we're like right at the finish line.
Did they gulag you?
Oh my god, dude. I mean, like, how ridiculous is that?
They stood you up and shamed you in front of all those other kids. Like, that's fucking insane, man.
That's literally anti-white.
Like, that's beyond the fucking... Like, I'd be down at the school taking swings at people if they did that to my fucking kid.
Yeah, man. And at the time, my buddy and I were just kind of like, whoa, this is fucked up. But... And so I didn't have obviously I didn't have all the talking points I have now. I would have loved to have just completely like jihaded that whole fucking class. But yeah, I mean, the most I had at the point, like at that time, was just like kind of basic bitch, like, oh, slavery wasn't the main cause of the Civil War type shit. But dude, so I actually went down to New Orleans to do a service trip during this, like after Katrina, and there was a guy that had a fucking PhD in like minority studies, a white guy, a fucking white guy,
a white male,
a fucking white whale. Wait, play that Jones drop, please, if you have it.
The harpoons.
Yeah, fucking white whale.
I gotta find it.
But yeah, I had this cuck like lecturing me on minority relations. It's like,
and I get
so
that
ridiculous.
shit in real life. Like I kind of
This
have.
is the 100% super harpoon that'll bring Moby Dick down. Quite frankly, I don't care if I can take it to the bottom of the ocean. Got the harpoon in my hand, and I'm pledged to it, and pledge with me. You gather around. Hunting the globalists. They're not going to defeat us. We're never stopping.
Wait, where's the goblin thing? Did you play that
I
earlier?
never expected Trump charging into a goblin's nest and not get some goblin vomit slopping blood on it. I just don't want to catch him in bed with a goblin. But if he's in there rolling around hacking him up and he's got a goblin guide, taking him into the cave.
Jared Kushner's the
I'm
goblin
not
guy.
expecting him to get dirty, especially up to his ankles. I don't want to see him kissing goblins, having political succubus with goblins. I don't want to see him ingratiating goblins.
He's just basically talking about Jews there.
He is.
Yeah.
You
He just said
don't
goblin.
sleep every night, knowing you work for a bunch of psychotic killers.
That's my favorite.
So the best dog whistles for Jews: goblins, establishment climbers,
Yeah.
Moby Dick.
rootless cosmopolitans.
Yeah, well, you got to be careful with that one because, like, people that know, like, that's a direct Mein Kampf
that's-
quote.
Yeah.
Dude, I drop rootless
Babel
cosmopolitans
Scarfers.
on my normie Facebook all the time.
Yeah, I usually just say, like,
Bagel fiends.
globalist or, like, international
Deli rats.
banking. Deli rats.
Okay, deli rats. I just came up with that, but I think that's really good. Because I went to a deli like last weekend, a really Jewish one in Houston.
Oh, wait, is it the one that's in the Galleria?
Yeah, dude, it's fucking good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
They make the pastrami in house. Oh my God, Goy, you got to try it.
Yeah, and I was fully red pilled when I first went there, and I was like, they have all these fucking like Jewish charities, like
Oh, yeah.
all
Well, did you
lined
see
up.
when you walk to the bathroom? It's like 10 posters that say you don't have to be Jewish to enjoy Jen's Deli,
Right? Yeah,
and it's like
then,
all different races of kids, and you're like, oh my god.
yeah, they have like 3 different charities up at the front where you can like physically donate, and then they have other ways you can like give money. And then I was in there one time where they actually had like a please gives me that person like sitting there like just accepting donations and like
Give me a
imploring
shekel,
us all
please.
to give them money. Yeah. I know, but that shit's dank. Go give the Jews your money.
Oh, dude, their bakery is fucking awesome. Did you just know about bread? You know, the rye bread is amazing. Bagels are great. I mean, I don't even care.
They know about that cake, nigga.
Yeah, they finally found yeast so they could have leavened bread after fucking Passover.
Yeah, for sure. Man,
Oh, man.
dude, this last week, like down in Florida with my family, I fully like came out as an alt-right like sexual.
So you fucked a bunch of dudes on your vacation.
Fucked yourself a nice little skirt.
Yeah, white dudes though. Okay? Come on.
Well, obviously.
In the ethno state, you only have, you know, gay orgies with white people.
Yeah, but like I was like trying to drop like the subtle JQ things. I was like, because they're already there on everything else, you know, so I have to just sort of like slowly work it in. And I was just talking to my mom. I'm like, you know, don't you notice like, you know, how like all of the anti-white, like anti-Christian stuff, because they're big Christians. I'm like, you know, this anti-white, like anti-Christian stuff is always promoted by these like Hollywood Jewish
Sarah
you know,
Silverman.
people. Yeah.
Once you notice
it's
shit
not a
like that, there's no
coincidence.
turning back.
Oh, I know. Which is why I try to like drop the red pill, because even if they don't agree with me at the time, they'll start fucking. They can't.
Yeah.
The
it's like
pattern
when-
recognition will kick in.
One of my
Right, yep.
normie friends, he was talking about how he was annoyed at Mark Cuban, and I was like, oh, I hated Mark Cuban once I found out he changed his name, and that's all I said. Just hoping they Wikipedia it and then see, oh,
What's his real name?
Chavinsky.
Mark
Yeah.
Javinsky, boy. Watch the Mavs.
Well, it's so funny. I was talking to a bunch of alt-right guys for a long time before this controversy with Trump. I'd be like, is Cuban a Jew? Is Cuban a Jew? You know?
Mhm.
Because I didn't know. I was convinced he fucking was. Just
I didn't think he was because he seemed like too big. They're usually like not that tall.
yeah, it's true. Well, I think Ari Shafir's pretty tall, and if you just Google that guy, I mean,
Or like
holy
he's
shit!
an alpha. He's an alpha Jew.
Have you?
Mark
do you
Cuban
know
is an
who I'm
alpha.
talking about? Does everyone on this
Ari who?
Chat, no?
Shafir?
Shafir? Yeah, check it out, dude.
Where do I know that guy from?
He's he's commonly on like Joe Rogan's podcast. Big friends with that guy.
That's where I know.
He's
the
just like
name.
he's the most Jewish looking dude you've ever like. He's like he's like the Happy Merchant pretty much.
He
which
looks
is
like
actually
Steven
kind of
Spielberg.
He's kind of a shame because he's actually pretty funny like guy, you know. But and he doesn't do like any kind of anti-white shit. He even did like the Amazing Racist and all that stuff. That's the guy.
All right.
Yeah.
Looks like Pistol Pete Maravich was 6'5".
Yeah.
Wait, he was a Jew?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Oh
Pistol
wow,
Pete.
I didn't know this.
Fucking
Play
learn something every
basketball,
day.
Yeah, no shit. the JQ rabbit hole gets even deeper.
Well, is that Elvis one? That's the one that really.
Yes, dude. That actually didn't. That was a Goilers controversy recently that we all found that out, and we're like, oh god.
Oh,
Damn.
God damn it. I wish you
But
had
then,
told
if
me
you think
that.
about it, he always swayed his hips, and he made the youth be degenerate. So it's not surprising. And he stole stuff from black people, so you know, he took all his songs from them.
Yeah.
I mean, can't argue with that.
Yeah, that's pretty based.
I know. It's like anytime I bring up something I like, I have a buddy, like an alt-right buddy, that'll just ruin it for me and be like, "Oh yeah, no, he's a fucking Jew, and he did all this like anti-white shit." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, here's another."
Sometimes I'm
person
like, I don't even want to hear it. I just want to enjoy this person.
Right.
Don't tell me.
Yeah. Yeah, I was so bummed out about Ted Nugent when he shared that based fucking gun control meme.
With all the
yeah.
fucking sheriff's badges on it.
A bunch of law enforcement officials.
That was amazing. And then he like did this little cucked fucking I mean, because I follow him on Normie Book, and I was like, holy shit, man, this is fucking crazy. Like, I love this. And then he went and apologized for it like a fucking cuck.
You could have
Never
shifted the Overton
apologize.
window.
I know, bro. Like, it just makes you. Everyone thinks you're weak, and it puts blood in the water. Like, there's nothing good comes of it. I mean, maybe if you're like, if all you give a shit about is the shekels, and you just say, oh, like you just bow down just so you can like keep whatever fucking contract you have or something, you know. But like in the long run, it really doesn't work because even the people that fucking hate you see you as weak, as a fucking pussy for apologizing.
Yeah.
Once these
That's
people
the
have
good thing
made
about
you a
Trump, he doesn't
villain,
apologize.
like once these people have made you a villain and then into a victim, they can never get enough revenge.
Right. And they'll make you cuck over and over and over. Like, it never ends.
It's a ritual.
Yeah, that South Park episode actually does it pretty well. Where I think it's like Stan's dad has to like apologize over and over again for being the nigger guy
The
or whatever.
Naggers episode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like he has to like put his like face in, you know.
South Park's last season was actually very woke.
Yeah.
With the PC principle.
Yeah.
See, I just watched a Cripple Fight because I recently learned that Timmy versus Jimmy is a direct lift from the fight scene in They Live.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I think South Park honestly helped be a kind of a precursor to shitload
Yep.
internet humor. 'Cause
Definitely.
They never cared what was too, sacred to talk about. They made fun of everything. And, well, they talk about Jews all the time. Fucking Kyle.
He was a little Jewy guy.
I
Yeah.
think Cartman is like the leader of the alt-right.
Yeah,
like the
he
spiritual leader.
Yeah. Let's do it. Yeah. Yeah. I just.
Oh shit, do
that
we have
show's
Twitter
fucking
questions to get to? It's starting to get a little late.
Yeah.
Well, we
Pushing
have
2
one
hours
about,
now,
like,
boys.
Turkey,
Oh, fuck.
Turkey NATO.
Yeah, that was asked by American Volkist.
Yeah.
Spray for Turk roaches.
Yeah.
I think. Well, I think they swarmed the base because it was that failed, or wasn't really the failed coup, it was a fake coup, and they were trying to get the nukes that are stashed at that base.
Who's
They'll probably
the?
give one to ISIS.
The
And they'll
Turks.
blow up
Okay.
Munich
At what
or
station?
Berlin.
One of our Air Force bases over there.
And they've also started blaming the U.S. for like the CIA backing the coup, which we probably did.
Well, yeah, that's the thing though. If you heard the guy that came on Red Ice, his whole theory is that like it was because the Turks were trying to reestablish relations with the Russians,
Yeah.
and so
we tried to
there
stop
was there was some sort of NATO-backed coup or something.
I mean, we've done hundreds of coups as America, so
Yeah,
I
it
would not
wouldn't
be
be a big
surprised at
surprise.
all.
Yeah, exactly.
From what I heard, the Turks realized that they sort of shit the bed when they shot down that Russian plane last year,
Yeah.
and that to get back into the good graces with the Russians, they had to sort of spit in the face of the Americans,
Yeah.
which led to us supporting the coup because the guy who was the religious leader that was like
Yeah.
part of the coup.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah, he ends up over here. Like, get fucking real, man.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just want to say I couldn't stand listening to that Red Ice interview very far. Like I heard the interview, but then I just can't stand someone whose English is so fucking shitty like that guy.
Yeah, that's why I never listened to the Radio Free Skyrim. I just can't do it. And
It's
they're all
gone,
Asian
man.
Finns
Work.
anyway.
Don't care about a bunch of fucking horse archers.
Yeah, I think I memed them into shutting down because I was always just shitting on it constantly.
Yeah, honestly, fuck those guys.
Yeah.
All right, what else we got? Do you think?
We had another question from American Volkist about racquetball.
It's gay. And it's for Asians. Kind of like Finland.
Well, it's one of those things where it's like, dude, if you give a shit about racquetball, just watch tennis. It's very Hawaii.
Well, he was talking about badminton. Racquetball is kind of dope, but tennis is the master sport.
Yeah, exactly.
And you get great aerobics from tennis.
Definitely.
Like, when I started playing tennis, I was in like the shape of my life.
Mm-hmm.
and I was playing in high school against like these dudes that didn't even fucking lift, and they were just horrified of me because I was very competitive. Let's put it like that.
Bro, Roscoe, you were like I think I'm Ubermensch, but you're fucking Ubermensch, bro. You like played tennis, football, all
Track,
kinds of
basketball, baseball,
Jesus,
FFA president.
dude. Yeah, fuck
High
yeah.
agency.
Dude, I was a busy motherfucker. That's
That's
what happens
awesome,
if you're
dude.
not having sex.
Oh, bummer, man.
Well, the only attractive girls at my school were related to me, so
Honestly, yeah. I like if I could do it over again, I probably wouldn't have spent high school just chasing pussy the entire time.
oh, that's what college is for.
Right, exactly.
I mean, you're not gonna fucking learn anything.
Honestly, I got more laid in high school than I did in college, which it shows you how like degenerate the youth is that I was able to fucking pull that off.
Yeah, mine was the opposite for sure.
Dude, I went to a school, like, give you an idea, my graduating class was 62 people. When I was a senior, there were like 8 or 9 pregnant 7th graders.
Whoa.
Woo.
Yeah.
Hawaii?
One black student has gone to this school since 1929,
Oh my god.
and they were only half black.
Just Appalachian.
Like, fucking NAFTA destroyed that place, man.
Jesus Christ. It's
Clinton.
insane. We have any
So
more
my-
questions?
Operation Autism wants to know if Hitler did anything wrong.
Yeah, he fucking lost.
Yeah. You know, I would actually tell you, I think, I mean, he was going to eventually have to break the non-aggression pact, right? This is so fucking autistic to, like, sit here and, like go over this guy's wrongs. Because, I mean, he, you know, obviously he's the fucking man, but I
More
think,
than we had.
I think, like,
the aggression principle.
I think a defensive position would have been better against the Soviet Union than the invasion.
Yeah,
Uh,
that was stupid.
Did you learn nothing from Napoleon?
Yeah, don't
Right.
invade Russia in winter. It doesn't work for Napoleon, for Hitler, for
Yeah.
anyone.
Right.
We have another question from Pope Starkles II. He wanted to know, after the assassination of Caligula, if the Praetorian Guard too easily repeated the actions.
That's a Bateman question right there.
Yeah.
I think assassination, if you're dedicated enough, there's always a chance. If you have the resources and the dedication and the agency, like, there's always a weakness somewhere.
I don't understand the question.
Yeah, I don't
I'm
really
not
Yeah,
gonna
me
fucking
either.
lie, man.
Also, I was kind of drunk. I didn't really listen to the question.
Do you think the assassination of Caligula? Do you think after the assassination of Caligula, the Praetorian Guard too easily repeated such actions? I need more, man.
I mean, I've been memeing Rome, but I don't really want to talk about their personal guard philosophy. That's a little
Right.
too niche for me.
Right? Do I need to fucking download a Mountain Blade mod to get into this?
I need to read a book about Praetorian Guard tactics. Like, I'm not that dedicated.
And that was the last question. Becky, who's at Miss Patriarch, wanted a shout out, so I guess we can give her one.
Not Becky.
Not Becky.
We can
Fucking
shout out
Becky.
women, but we can never have them on our podcast.
Yeah, sorry.
Thank you, Bateman. Honestly, even though I've been on a podcast with a few women, just in general,
Painful.
oh god, it's brutal, dude.
Whenever Fash the Nation has a woman on it, I'm just like, oh, why? It'd be so much better without it, ever.
yeah,
Jazz, if you're listening to this, just don't let any women on your podcast,
It's
please.
a train wreck
please.
every time.
the only woman
You're so much
that,
better than them.
The only woman that qualifies to be on a podcast is Ann Coulter. That's fucking it.
Yeah, and she's probably like trans, so she's actually a dude.
Right.
That's why
She's
she's
a
good
trad
political
wife.
commentary.
Yeah, she's definitely a trad wife.
Yeah, we have a thing going in the like in a chat of ours. I think you're a part of it, Bateman. Where we're like we still haven't like laid the verdict. Like, would you fuck her or not? Yes or no? Are we?
Maybe
I
like
guess
20 years ago.
we're in the shit posting portion, so I think we can bring that up.
Like
yeah.
if I ran into her in a bar like tomorrow,
well, I
she
mean,
invited
okay.
me back to her hotel room.
Well, there's
Yeah, I would probably do it just to say I fucked Ann Coulter. I mean, that's like.
that's what I was gonna say. There's a big difference between like the fact that like we would all do it just to be like, haha, we fucking did it. You know.
The question is, would you do it if you couldn't tell anyone about it?
Right.
And then I would be probably not.
Yeah.
But if I could tell people, yes.
Yeah.
Obviously.
I think.
I mean, I would fuck like young Hillary if I could tell people about it, because that's hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. The personal satisfaction that I would get from porking Miss Culture.
Oh my god. I would just
Build
be
the
like,
wall.
yeah, I would say like while I'm like banging her, I'd be like, "What do we want?" She would say.
She was gonna pay for it.
Wall.
Build that wall.
Just
Got
with
10 feet higher.
with every thrust. Build that wall.
Yeah, I was definitely rocking my chair while I said that.
I read some shitpost, I think it was on Twitter, like someone hooked up with like a Bernie supporter on Tinder, and then like right as they came, they just said, Trump.
I want to buy that man a beer.
Oh,
So now I
God.
kind of want to do that.
Well, is it worth the herpes?
Yes.
Dude, it's actually scary. It's very black pilling how common fucking herpes is, man.
Yeah.
Monogamy, bro.
I'm all about me some monogamy.
Me too. That's why I got married.
So, is that it? Are we gonna? Are you gonna read us off?
Yeah, I can do that. Our shilling. Our weekly
shit.
shilling.
Good boy points.
Yeah. So
Our
if you want to send us some good boy points, you know, we accept PayPal, we accept Bitcoin.
neat bucks.
Yeah.
And
all
we
that
actually
stuff.
got donations. I was so surprised.
Well, we didn't get any last week. We got the week before.
But yeah, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. So we can't shout out anybody for giving us donations this week, but still, thank you to.
Our chief financier.
Thank you, Soros.
Our crypto normie.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
Soros-
changed his name. He changed
Soros
his real
funds
name
Exodus
off there.
Americanus, in case y'all didn't know.
He's at Jonah not 19. So thanks again, bud.
My nigga.
He changed his handle to Crypto Normie, which I think is hilarious.
I think that's our influence, because I talk about being a crypto normie all the time.
So, all right, well, hit us up on Twitter. Roscoe is at Roscoe SB Jones. Bateman's at Nationalism Rise. Wooderson, you read your own off because it's complicated for me.
Yeah, no. Fuck my regular handle. Just follow at Houston Goylers. GOYLERS.
All right, and I'm at EXO Americanus. Hit us up on SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/Exodus Americanus. Our YouTube channel that I sometimes update. And what else do we have? Is that it?
That's it.
I don't know. 1488.
Race
Oh,
more now,
really?
gas the kikes.
Exactly.
Let's do it.
All right. As always, y'all have a good week. We'll catch you next time with strength and honor.
Strength and honor.
Strength and honor.